please use the raise hand function. If you have a follow-up, ask it following your first. Ryan Rashog, TSN.
Hey, Leon, I just wonder what the last couple of games kind of have meant to the group to bounce back with back-to-back wins and to have to battle through them and battle back in them, if that's maybe an injection of confidence for you guys.
Yeah, it for sure is. I think if you lose 3 in a row to Toronto, and especially the way that we did, it's easy to just kind of keep going down that path, and I think it's hard to pull yourself right out of it and win the next game. Obviously, an emotional game against Calgary. They're always big games, so I thought we did a really good job in both games we've played since the Toronto series. Not the prettiest hockey, not the prettiest games, but we won both games, and that's huge.
You've always said you'll play wherever the coach asks you to, so we understand that. When you and Connor are put on a line together, you guys generate offense at a pretty impressive clip. Leon, what do you think it is about, your skill set and his that seem to blend together so well and allow you to do that?
That's a good question. I don't know. I think we just maybe think the game at the same level. We look for each other. I know which way he wants to play or where and when he wants the puck. And, obviously, every once in a while I'll get that pass done to him.
Reed Wilkins, 630 Chad.
Thanks, Sean. Hi, Leon. Paul Maurice, the coach of the Jets the other day, said that he doesn't feel that the North Division is as physical hockey as maybe the style the Jets have played in recent seasons. You're on the ice, and you're seeing the same teams over and over again. There have been some games with a lot of hits. Is there a North Division style that you could describe, given that we're now kind of at the halfway point here?
Well, that's a good question. I don't know. It would be hard for me personally to describe the style of play. I think there's games where it's more physical. I think there's games where it's a little bit more free-flowing, and it's more about speed and stick work. So I think you kind of have it all in our division.
And again, with it just being at the halfway point and the same teams over and over again, so you're all jockeying for positions. Are you a standings or other games watcher differently than you might have been in past years, since it's just the same teams you're seeing?
No, I mean you pay attention. You know the layout, you know the setup. So obviously it's still too early to worry every night about what other teams do, but you watch them and you pay attention to the standings, and you just you're obviously looking to continue to bank in points and be one of the top 4 teams at the end of the year.
Gene Principe, Sportsnet.
Hi, Leon. Ryan just spoke to you about the chemistry you and Connor have on the same line or on the same team. I wonder if you could take us a little bit behind the scenes and discuss just the friendship you guys have developed over the years, and just kind of how well you get along. I saw a post on your Instagram. You were kind of joking about him not understanding you. You guys obviously get along well on the ice, but maybe a little bit of how you get along off the ice.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we get along on the ice. We get along off the ice. I think that's no secret. I think it's a healthy competition between both of us. We both want to be the best. It's hard to be the best with him on your team, I can tell you that much. But yeah, I don't know. I think we enjoy being around each other. Obviously we've been through a lot here. We've known each other for a long time. Lots of ups and downs. So you kind of grow together, and starting really young, both of us, 18 years old. You kind of build that friendship, and like I said, you go through things that are fun, or that you have to learn, or that are not so much fun. So I think we just built a really good relationship ever since.
Thank you.
Jason Gregor, TSN 1260.
Leon, your team's managed to maintain scoring goals. I think you're 10th in the league in goals, but since February 1st, you're 7th in goals against. And I know Dave and you guys talked about this. That was the improvement. How do you feel your team's done here in the last 5 weeks to find that balance of playing sound defense, but also still scoring goals?
I think that's what wins you hockey games, right? We've always struggled with that. I think that was something coming in this year that we really paid attention to, and we really want to defend the right way and win those tight games, those one-goal games. Again, those 3 games against Toronto were obviously not our best, not the way that we wanted to play, but I think we've done a pretty good job in the last, like you said, 5 weeks or whatever. I'm not sure what we are, 13-5 or something like that. So that's a pretty good record. So we're obviously looking to continue that tonight.
And Leon, when you win games, guys can have fun about a lot of different things. Your coach joked a little bit about after the game when you won on your struggles on hitting empty nets. So are you practicing that? What's going on there?
Yeah, I got to work on that. I'm not sure what's going on there. Don't really have an answer right now. Next one I'm going to try and put in. I try to put in everyone, but just doesn't seem to go my way.
Jack Michael, 630 Chad.
Leon, there was a play against Ottawa, kind of a back-end cross ice to Connor coming out of your own zone, reminded me of the play in Colorado. And I'm wondering whether, some of the overwhelming numbers of the fact that you guys feel comfortable in trying a certain degree of difficulty that only you two can relate to. Can you speak to that point? Is that part of it at all?
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to explain. I just know what he likes and I know what he wants, and I think he knows that he can trust me in a way where I'll be able to get him pucks in good spots and good situations. And obviously that certain play you probably don't want to teach a young kid. The coach, I don't think would like that very much, but those are just plays that happen every once in a while. And yeah, it's easy to hit him in full stride.
And the follow-up would be it is technically the midway point. I'm wondering, because of, the reduced amount of games and the reduced amount of travel, I can't imagine it feels like the midway point to you. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it feels different. This whole year, this whole season has felt different. But again, I think everyone's done a great job of setting this up and making sure that everyone's safe and that we, are fortunate enough that we're allowed to play and do what we love doing. So I think we can consider ourselves very fortunate. Yeah. Obviously, it's the halfway point, like you said. We're in a good spot. Hopefully, we can keep it going.
Final question, Mark Spector, Sportsnet.
Yeah, Leon, hockey players always talk about the veterans on their teams that they learned from when they were young. You guys aren't real young anymore, but I wanted to ask about Mike Smith. He seems to me to have a different, he's not wearing a leather, but he's got an interesting leadership role. How would you describe what he's bringing to the table for you guys?
Yeah, I think Smitty just brings a lot of swagger, obviously a lot of experience to our table. I know we're not the youngest team anymore, but sadly we haven't had that much experience winning so far. So obviously it helps having guys that have done it before, and they've gone on long playoff runs, and they've been on successful, good hockey teams. So, yeah, he just brings an upbeat, loud voice that obviously guys listen to because he's won and he's been on successful teams. So, yeah, he's a big part of our leadership group.
And that stuff lasts. Like, if I'm talking to Leon Draisaitl in 6 years from now, Does some of that remain inside your leadership style, right? Do you adopt some of that stuff over the years?
Absolutely, yeah. You look up to those guys. If you look at Smitty, I would consider myself still young. But yeah, no, you learn from guys like that, and you pick up things that you might want to put into your leadership, and yeah, you just pick it up and learn from it and go with it.
Thank you. If there are no more questions, this concludes Leon Draisaitl's media availability.
Along the zone, Finn Archibald, big shot, score! And Edmonton strikes twice in a span of 28 seconds to turn a 2-1 deficit into a 3-2 lead. Archibald game is tied. Just as the power play was set to expire, Draisaitl pours it into the back of the net for his 34th goal of the year.
function. Ryan Rashog, TSN.
Mike, just wanted to talk about the battle level that the Senators can bring, with the group that they have. And if, that's good for your group to kind of bump up against that and to have to play the game in a way that brings that out in you and your group as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously they're a young team that's, had played a lot better hockey as of late. So I think they're like any team in this league. You can win on any given night, and you just got to make sure that you're looking after what you can control, and that's your group's work ethic. But definitely they've shown they can play against some real good teams and compete and win hockey games. So there's no obviously. There's a desperation mode in our game that we need to continue to improve on, and what better way to do that than against a team that comes out every night and has a good effort.
We were just chatting with Leon Draisaitl. He talked about the competition between he and McDavid being really healthy, and that they both are competing with each other to be the best. I mean, this is two pretty high-end guys, fighting for that. What do you see in that healthy competition between the two of them?
I mean, anytime you can make your teammates better, whether it's practice or games, I think it's a healthy thing. I think both guys want to be the best player in the world, and in their own rights have the capabilities to do that. So I think that's a good problem to have. We can have two guys like that on the same team, and both guys have proven that they can take the ball and run with it and really lead this group. From an offensive standpoint, and also as leaders of our team. And I think it's, like I said, it's a good problem to have when you have two guys like that are willing to do whatever it takes to kind of get this team to the next level. And obviously, we're fortunate to have both of them on the team.
Jason Gregor, TSN 1260.
Mike, I'm far from a goalie expert, so bear with me. Kevin Woodley came on and he talked about the biggest changes he sees with you is, balance is better. It's something about, leading with the head first and then the torso and everything follows after that. Can you talk about just how much better you feel and, making that change late in your career? Not a lot of guys are able to do that. And Woodley says he's been most impressed by how you've done it. Make it almost look seamless and easy.
I mean, I'm not thinking too deeply into all those comments, but to be honest, I'm trying to get better every single day I'm in this league, and every year that I have I'm fortunate enough to be a part of, I think I want to just keep improving on my craft and try and be as consistent as possible. And that's one thing I think every player strives for in this league. And still at my age, I want to continue to do that and try and find ways to improve every year. So I think this year is no different than any other. I think I've gone into the off season with the mindset that I want to improve, and obviously some training habits changed just because of the location where I was at, but I'm still working with the same people I have throughout the course of my career, and I've added pieces here and there, but I think for the main part, I've just mentally, I'm in a good place. I feel like I'm just kind of taking it one day at a time and just really preparing for that next start, and kind of all the little technical parts of it just are just little parts of it. But I think it's just it's something I really take pride in, and every day is a new day for me, and I'm out there working as hard as I can to be as prepared as I can for the next game.
As well as you've played, you sit even on the bench last game and in the games that you're on the ice, and the team in front of you has really done a better job since the start of February in limiting the chances. Can you maybe talk about the defense in front of you that it's allowed you and even Mikko to maybe make your job a little bit easier?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's something that's been talked about, quite a bit this year with our group is limiting the high scoring chances, and I think every team goes through it. Every team talks about it, but obviously when your team's playing well defensively and not giving up as many odd man rushes and those high quality scoring chances, it's going to be that much easier and better for your goaltending. So obviously it works hand in hand, and when the team's playing solid defensively, it makes our job a heck of a lot easier. So I think we're trying to figure that out, and it's getting better day by day here, and hopefully it continues to improve and leading into the playoffs.
Mark Spector, Sportsnet.
Leon Draisaitl was talking about your leadership style and how, he's not a young guy, but they learn from you, and it's kind of some leadership traits that they'll take into their future. Who are the guys that shaped you when you showed up in the league? Who are the leaders that, when you were in a room not saying much, who were the guys that were saying much?
Yeah, I mean, playing as long as I have, I think I've had the opportunity to play with some unbelievable, captains, unbelievable leaders, and I think I've learned a lot from each one of those people and those players that I played with. So I think you also have to find your way and know what works for the team now. Obviously, the game's changed quite a bit from the first year I came in the league as far as players and as far as how young the league's gotten, but I think, Mike Modano, Brendan Morrow, Marta Turco, my first years, and then, those are older guys, but I think, you play with Marty St. Louis and Steven Stamkos, everyone, you learn a little bit from everyone you play with, and obviously playing in Arizona for 6 years with, one of the best captains to ever play, and Shane Doan, and the leadership that he brought, and learning from him, and a guy like Ray Whitney also had a big impact on kind of, a way to lead and a way to kind of, to kind of promote what you're saying in the right demeanor. And I think every year that goes by, you kind of play with guys that lead in different ways, and you kind of learn from. And I'm trying to do my part on and off the ice to show that I'm here to help this team get better and to win every game.
So it must be kind of fun at this point. Like when you showed up at Edmonton, I'm sure I'll ask you, did you look around the room and see that clearly some leadership, your leadership could help? And is it kind of cool being, after all those years watching and learning from older guys, now you're the older guy and young guys are watching and learning from you? Yeah.
It goes by pretty fast. I can remember my first years, guys telling me that enjoy it because it goes by fast. And now here I am, one of the older guys in the league, and you're trying to relay that same message to these younger players now. But I take pride in it. To be honest, I take pride in it. I think it's an aspect of the game that is still important, and I think older guys still have a valuable role in this league now, especially being there's just so many young players coming in every single year, and they can't do it by themselves. So I think it's as amazing as Connor as a captain and Leon is. They're young players that need a helping hand from time to time. So I think that's what older guys are here for, and that's what guys did for me when I came into the league. And I think that same support that got me to the point I am now, these younger players deserve the same from me, because I appreciate everything that older players did for me when I was a younger kid.
Jack Michael, 630 Ched.
Mike, just to clean up on a question Jason asked, I mean, there has been a lot of talk around the league from those who cover the league that you look like a completely different goaltender, not relying as much on athletic ability. Are those comments exaggerated to some degree, where the tweaks you've made are more minor?
Yeah, I mean, they are. I mean, I haven't it hasn't been a wholesale change on the things I've done from year to year in the past, 5 or 10 years, that's for sure. But there has been little tweaks made in my game that you're trying to improve on every single season to give your chance to be as consistent as possible. And that's something that you battle with all season long. Some years, seem like they go a lot more easily than others. And I'm just really focused on this year, just really worrying about what I can control. And that's just how I play and how I prepare for games. And accepting that, I think this year it's easy to accept that you need both goalies. And that's one thing that's been hard probably later in my career is accepting that you're not going to play every game and, not letting that bother you and just worrying about what you can control, and that's your next start. And it's worked up to this point for this season, and I'll be having the same kind of mindset moving forward and just kind of take it one day at a time, one game at a time. And it's easier said than done, but it's kind of worked to this point, and I'll hopefully continue that.
Thanks, Mike. That's all I have.
Final question, Hunter Ryan Singh, Sportsnet.
Sorry, Mike, I was muted there, but just wanted to ask you at this stage in your career And I'm assuming some uncertainty in the offseason. You come in and sign the one-year deal. And what does it mean to you to be having this type of success with your record up until this point in this season?
Oh, it's obviously nice to be on the right side of it right now. I think the main thing is our team's doing well, and that's all it's all I really wanted is an opportunity to come back and help, this group be successful. And, I'm obviously on the later stages of my career, but feel like I have a lot left to give. And one thing I haven't accomplished yet in my career is win the Stanley Cup and giving yourself an opportunity to get there. So I think that's my main focus, is to help this team get into the playoffs, and then whatever happens after that, anything can happen. So I think obviously there's a lot of work to be done. We're not even halfway through the season yet, and we're still growing as a group. So I think personally, I just want to bring, that attitude that I'm trying to get better every day, trying to help this team be successful, and, worry about what I can control. And that's my work ethic, and that's, being a good leader for this group. And hopefully it takes us to where we want to go.
My apologies if this was asked before, but Dave Tippett, I believe yesterday, talked about how he considered you to be one of the top 3 athletes that he's ever coached. Can you talk about your relationship with Dave Tippett and how much that means in terms of going back how many years with him and now having success with him again here?
Yeah, I mean, obviously my relationship with Tip and the time we've spent together has been well documented. So I think obviously having him as a rookie in the league, and then, for 6 years in Arizona, and then kind of reuniting here in Edmonton, obviously I have a tremendous amount of respect for Tip as a coach and as a person. And, those words, coming from a guy like that that's been around as long as he has, not only as a player, but as a coach, obviously, carries some weight. And he's obviously seen a lot of players through the course of his career. So I think, it's special when a comment like that has been said about you. And I'll continue to try and be one of those top athletes every single day I come to the rink. So I think that's what has allowed me to play as long as I have, and I'm very fortunate for that.
Thank you. This concludes Mike Smith's media availability. Please stay tuned for Dave Tippett. If you have questions, please use the raise hand function. Start with Ryan Rashog, TSN.
Dave, we were just chatting with Leon Draisaitl, and he talked about the way he and McDavid have a healthy competition between the two of them. They both want to be the best. I mean, not many people could compete with Connor in that way, but can you just describe what you see from the competition standpoint between the two of them?
Well, I think they're two great players that when they use whatever they use as motivation to play well, when they're together, that's makes them a really dynamic pair, and you can see, like, they drive each other. They both want to be top players in the league, and when you have two guys with that mindset, especially playing on the same line, it makes them very dangerous.
Jim Conlon, RCB Sports.
Hi, Dave. Just in relation to playing the Senators, how good is the young Drake Baterson, and how much of a threat is he against you?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Can you repeat that?
Yeah, no problem, Dave. In relation to playing the Senators, Drake Baterson, how good of an opposing player is he, and how much of a threat is he for the Senators?
You know what? We worry about our team. I'm worried about our players, not the players on the other team.
Mark Spector, Sportsnet.
So I guess I doubt you'll give me a good answer to this, but I'm going to ask you anyway, Tip. One of your weapons and one of your things is, if it's not going so well, you put McDavid and Draisaitl together in the third period. We've watched you do that for a long time. When they start together, what do you do now?
You just hope they play well. Hopefully our whole team plays well. So, no, but it's just, I mean, that's one of the adjustments you make during a game that it's obviously gets highlighted because of the status of those players, but you make little adjustments like that all the time in the game, whether it's a certain matchup you want or you'll flip a guy in a line here or there. But, you know, when those two guys are together, usually something pretty good happens. So you're right in the fact that gives you a spark, but there are a lot of other things that happen during a game too that probably just don't go noticed. So, you know, it's a nice option to have, but both of them, we know both of them can play well with each other, and they both play well without each other. So that gives added strength to our team.
Thank you.
Derek Van Diest, Post Media.
Hey, Dave. Kyle Turris' name showed up on the COVID protocol list last night. Is he unavailable for today, or are you going to be missing him for a little bit?
Yeah, he's unavailable. He's pulled from abundance of caution. It's, you know, it's one of those things that they told us yesterday that he was being pulled and he'll be evaluated day to day, and we'll just see where it goes. But he's unavailable tonight.
And what's the status of Josh Archibald? Is he close at all?
He's day to day still. He was going to try to skate this morning. I don't think he did, but so he won't be available tonight. But he's every day getting a little better here.
Terry Jones, Post Media.
At the end of the evening, you will have hit the halfway mark of the schedule.
Yeah.
A, does it feel like it's halfway through the season? And B, will it be a concise evaluation of your first half?
Yeah, we've got, you know, this is the first half over. We've got a day to regroup tomorrow. We're going to meet with our team and just go through the first half. Just a little bit of some positives, some things we have to work on, and just kind of look at the schedule ahead and see what we're up against the second half. So we usually use the midpoint of the season, even though this season is a very different season. We'll use the midpoint to do a little evaluation where we're at and make sure we have a good plan for the second half.
Thank you.
Jason Gregor, TSN 1260.
Dave, with Turris out, are you going to put in a forward, or are you contemplating 7 defense with William Lagesson coming off early, which is usually a sign he might play?
Yeah, we got a couple different options we're looking at here, just as we go forward. Lagesson, there's a good chance Lagesson will play tonight, though.
Ryan Rishaug.
Just to follow up on Lagesson, I know you liked the way he was playing when he got hurt.
Yeah.
Dave, is it a challenge for a younger guy that's still making his way to miss that time? And can you expect the guy to pick right up where he left off, or what are your expectations after so much time off?
Well, he's put some good work in, and he's skated hard. He was dealing with an upper body injury, so the fitness levels and stuff should be pretty good. But he's got to jump back into a game and try to play at the level he was. And for him, he's just a real solid defender. You know, he makes very few mistakes in the game, just pretty steady. So if he can get up and going in that vein again, he'll help our team.
Jim Matheson, Post Media.
Dave, a couple of things. With Lagesson, he's played a long time in the organization to get to this point, and I know there was some people wondering whether he had the foot speed and the ability to move the puck quickly enough. Is the ability to move the puck quick enough about the only thing that he really still has to work on?
Well, I mean, you can continue working on a lot of things when you're a young player, but there's aspects of his game that are strengths, and there's stuff that he's got to continue to get better at. But he's positionally really strong. Like I say, doesn't make a lot of mistakes, and his puck movement is okay. There's some times when you wish you could move it maybe a little quicker, but you could say that about every single defenseman in the league also. So, you know, he's come in, he's put his dues in the minor leagues. He's come up here, he's wait his time, and this year he's come in. I think he's played 9 or 10 games, and he's been really solid. So we'll get him back in there now that he's healthy, and hopefully he can get up and going just like he was before.
And one more question. I know you always say you're more concerned with your team, but Ottawa, what's it like playing a team with so many young players, and they look like they're not playing with house money, but they're just glad to be in the league, and they work their rear ends off. I mean, it's a very young team.
Well, they do. They work hard, and there's no quit in their game. You know, and that's a credit to their coaching staff. What they know what they've got. They're making sure that they're putting the work in every day, and they're a very competitive team. Very competitive.
Thank you. This concludes Dave Tippett's media availability.